It's time to begin some renovation projects, at least for me. Although it may seem early, I usually start around the beginning of August just because I have so many different projects that are usually going into fall time that trying to wait until a 1 week window that's ideal for everything just doesn't allow me enough time to get everything else done. I've kind of learned to work with this, and although today it's a little cooler, and by cooler I mean right now a heat index of 98, not exactly ideal weather necessarily all the time for seeding cool season, but we're moving into a stretch where I see a little bit of relief, and so I just have to work around a few things. Sometimes I have to use a little fungicide to make sure that whatever I get seeded that starts to germinate, I don't lose. We can talk about that as we get to that point. Today, I finished this little landscape area back here, if you didn't see my little short on that. And so now I have this plot that used to be bent grass. I didn't take care of it last year at all, so I've sprayed it all out. Gonna get ready to reseed that, and just like kind of a little border along that landscape there that I have to work on, and that's gonna be the first project. Get this looking better so it doesn't look like a big eyesore down here by the golf area. Trying to rake out kind of all the weeds that were here, the dead stuff. This is going to be mowed probably about the height of this other stuff, so probably 2 inches or so. So it doesn't have to be ready for ultra low mowing or anything like that. So it's a little bit easier, but just trying to get some of this junk out of here. Down here in the camp area, I got this section in between these trees it's basically just kind of always been weeds. So when I seeded tall fescue, which is out here, I did not go in between these trees. I don't really know why at the time. I think there were some taller stumps and stuff in there that I didn't want to deal with, but it's all cleaned out now. So I got this thing smoothed out with the Ventrac, and I'm going to be planting some fairway gold in here, which is great for sun or shade, and it's going to be kind of just a wispy sort of look in there, and something that I don't have to mow around all these trees, which is nice, but that's the plan. Well, I'm back out here. I had to take a bit of a heat break and a bit of a storm break on this project. Last week was just absolutely brutal. I was out here working on a few things, but then there looked like there were going to be some pretty significant storm chances in terms of heavy rainfall. We didn't end up really getting a ton, but it was enough that I didn't really want to risk just having all of this stuff wash away, which is very, very typical in a lot of my seeding projects if you've been here for a while. But it's August 2nd today, and it's starting to heat up, so I'm gonna get back at this, try to finish this quickly, get onto that shade project, and see what else that we come up with today. This little area here, I'm gonna try to leave some of this kind of straw-like stuff in place just because it's basically gonna be a slight cover for the seed, but this tool right here is really handy for areas like this. You just wanna break the soil. I'm kind of surprised sometimes how much I use this thing for little projects, seeding projects. You can see we got the soil broken up now, but we still have some of this straw-like stuff on top, which is going to help keep moisture here because these plots were designed to have kind of these buffers in between, but over the years I've kind of shrunk them down a little bit more. And so the irrigation is actually inside of this, and it's not going to get a ton out on here. It will get some, but the more moisture that we can hold there, the better. All right, last bit of debris to pick up. I'm going to re-rake this once more, see what else is there, and then we should be ready to go. Today I'm going to be using Kentucky Bluegrass Rye Mix. Kind of have some of this same thing pretty much right next to it over here, so it's all going to blend together nicely, and that's what I'm going for with this. I'm going to go ahead and seed the edge areas by hand just because there's a slight breeze. I don't want to get it all in my new landscaping if possible. And the other area, for a project like this, I like to use just a small spreader, hand spreader. This one happens to be powered, which is nice. Even if you have the little hand crank ones, you don't really need a big spreader for this area. As far as spreader settings go, I never really worry too much about spreader setting. I just need to know how much area I have, and then I start with a low setting here, walk across it multiple times until everything is nice and even. You just need to know your area and then how many pounds of seed you want to put on that specific area. And then the spreader setting doesn't really matter too much because just set it low and then evenly put that seed out on that area. I like the wire rakes for this. I have one in the shipping container, but this is out right now, so this will work. Just very, very lightly covering that seed up just a little bit. Also not a requirement, but if you do happen to have a roller, this has no weight in it, nothing in here, just the weight of the roller, which is not very heavy. But this is going to push the seed just, again, slightly against the soil for the best seed to soil contact possible. So maybe you can see right here, this is a sprinkler head. Everything on the back side of here is not going to have great sprinkler coverage. It's going to get some from this misting and from other things, but right here, on any of those areas, I'm going to put down just a little extra cover. And then I will hand water some of these areas, probably once or twice a day. I'm going to hand water just because I know this isn't going to get great coverage until it grows in. till it gets rain, and after that it'll be totally fine. At least during the portion where I'm having the grow in, I want to make sure that I keep as much moisture as possible. So I'm just going to use a little straw to make that happen. Just adjusting a couple sprinklers there outside of their normal boundaries of where they were before, just because I'm trying to reach now outside of those areas just slightly. So you just got to tweak things just a little bit. Now this whole time in this video you might be thinking, why are you seeding everything so early? But I've found over my years and years and years of seeding projects that, especially for my region here in Iowa, Kentucky bluegrass is very slow. If you wait until the later fall or even into September, our first frost is typically October 10 to October 15, somewhere in there. And so that's not a whole lot of time with how slow that is to get going for it to be ready for that first frost. Now, I can't really say that I have ever lost bluegrass to a frost, but preferably you want it as mature as possible before that happens. The other nice thing about this time of year right now is if you have irrigation, you can watch things closely, and germination time frames are very, very quick. Even on bluegrass, I would expect this to be 6 to 7 days probably. So a lot of times when people are looking at those time frames of how slow bluegrass is to germinate, it's happening in more of a cool climate, whereas if you do this in a warm soil temp, it's going to come out of the ground really, really quickly. Now there are some downsides. One, as I just said, you have to watch the watering closely. And two, if it starts to be very, very humid overnight, you get a lot of rain overnight, you can lose a lot of your new seed to Pythium. So you got to watch for that. Fungicide that I would have on hand if you were going to do this is with the ingredient mefenoxam. It is an expensive product though, so specifically in an area like this, if I had some damage that happened from fungus, I would probably just have a little extra seed on hand. It would be cheaper than going all out on fungicide, but I happen to have that chemical on hand just because of doing so many seeding projects on larger areas and things that I just could not lose to fungus. We'll see how this goes. I do see a bit of a cool down coming, and otherwise mid 80s for temperatures for us, kind of mid 60s for the nighttime. Now, I did my other bluegrass seeding project last year that was inside of our little dog fence about this exact same time. Turned out fantastic. Got a little fairway gold going on this area. You can use in full sun, or it also works great in the shade like this. So this is going to be kind of like a no-mow area that I'm just going to mow around. I got fescue around the outsides, but it's always been a problem area that just gets a lot of weeds, and I've finally been able to clean it up. And it's just an area that I'd like to kind of leave as a no-mow. So that's what this is good for. I'm going to set this pretty low. I do not need much seed in here because each plant can kind of grow. Actually, the thinner that it is, the more wispy and upright it will be. So just a little more. There we go. So I bought the cheap brand of this stuff. It's not the easy straw that I normally would use if I'm using this type of loose straw. Not a fan. It does not come out of the package well at all. And remember, I'm insanely allergic to straw, so this is a really good idea for me. I hope that helped to explain a little bit more about seeding projects, why you may want to do it early, what are some of the risks. I appreciate you watching today. We'll see you next time.